Pregnancy 101, part 1. Yes, it has to be in multiple parts because the whole process is complicated, even though many people are showing me in their comments and in their videos that they think that things are way simpler than they actually are. So let's start. All right, we got female reproductive system here. I purposely got one that they actually show it on the human body, because I've talked to some people who think the ovaries are up like where your kidneys might be, or they have no idea what any of these parts are. So here, when you can see the green screen, we've got the basic female reproductive system. Now, a pregnancy does not have to begin in here. I'm going to be talking about an in vivo pregnancy, but you could have an in vitro pregnancy using IVF, where medical professionals would do some of this outside the body. I'm going to talk about the ways that it could start inside the body. All right, so a lot of you are thinking, well, no, this is very easy. You have sex and you become pregnant. Well, let's break this down into the process. All right, so my hand down here, we have the opening to the vagina. Notice the vagina is inside, it is internal. The part that you can see on the outside, that is not the vagina. Stop calling that the vagina. That's the vulva. All right, the vagina is the internal part, and when we are talking about childbirth, we would call this area the birth canal, but we're not there yet, certainly. All right, so let's say two people have unprotected or poorly protected PNV intercourse, and the sperm gets into the body here. All right, that sperm has to make it past the cervical opening, little opening right there between the vagina and the uterus. Now the uterus is small here, but during a pregnancy that continues, that is viable, it would stretch, it would grow. That's one of the wonderful things about the uterus, especially the internal part of the uterus. It can stretch, it can grow to accommodate the developing individual. All right, so sperm get into the uterus. They have to either go left or right into one of the fallopian tubes. How do they know which way to go? They don't. It's just kind of random which way they go. If they enter a fallopian tube, will there be a nice juicy ovum for them to greet and to potentially fertilize? No, not necessarily. This person may not be ovulating. An ovum, what we call an egg, an ovum once released, it can last about a day. All right. But you know, there might not be one there. Think about sperm. Sperm can last up to 4 to 6 days once released. So they might be hanging out and, you know, one shows up and they're like, hey, here you go. All right. So obviously we're going to have to continue in part 2.